Hi, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. This is Emke Sews and I'm Emma. In today's video, I'd like to share what I've finished so far for Sew Phoenix September 25. In my video earlier this month about Sew Phoenix, I told you all that I was going to make the Pembley pullover, and I did. And here it is. As you can see, I've made this one from a number of different fabrics, some self-texture fabric and polar fleece, and this green and cream one. For this one, I started with a size L and I graded to a XXL at the hips, but the fit on this one is pretty good. I do have some slight pulling in the upper bust area, so I think I probably needed a little bit more space across the bust. I think that this version turned out a billion times better than the last version I made of this one, which, if you've watched my original video, was hideous. It never saw the light of day and ended up in the trash, so it definitely ended up much better. I made sure to read the instructions and follow them as stated, which led to a couple of issues that I found. One of the seams I was not told to finish, so I've actually gone back and finished that seam, which was quite difficult to do because I'd already sewn it in and it was like a bit of an awkward position. On this jumper, you have this asymmetrical hem and you add this triangular piece onto the front bodice. The way the pattern told you to add this piece on, I found unnecessarily confusing. In the grand scheme of things, I definitely think I achieved a better fit than my original one. However, I do think that I would have benefited from a full bust adjustment on this one because it is a bit tight across the bust. I will wear it, I can get away with it, but it does have, there is some pulling across the upper bust area. So I think if I was going to make this pattern again, I would do a full bust adjustment before making it. But I was happy with the other adjustment that I made, the grading out at the hips, so that's good. While I was actually making the Pembley pullover, I saw that Made for Mermaids was having a sale, and on their website they have this jumper, which you can see is very similar to the Pembley pullover. And so, seeing as it was on sale, I decided to buy the pattern and see what I thought of this one in comparison. I also wanted to see if there was any difference in the construction and if that had an effect on how I felt about the final product that I got from the pattern. So I thought it was a good chance to compare and contrast, especially with the challenge where you're trying to improve your past makes. I thought it would be a good idea to try a different pattern that has a similar look and feel to the original pattern to see if I could get a better final result. Let me tell you about what I made. So for this pattern, I started with a straight size yellow. They don't have letters or numbers, they just have colors in the Made for Mermaid patterns. So I started with a straight size yellow, and I looked at all the pictures of the finished tops and I decided to lengthen it because I decided that to compare these two patterns properly, I really should lengthen it to a similar length to the Pembley pullover. So I added on 6 inches. Unfortunately, it turned out a little bit long, but I do think that this will look good with my black leggings when I'm going to Pilates and stuff like that. So I think this top will get worn anyway. I'm also considering adding some ruching or elastic to the side of the jumper to pull the hemline up a bit. Let me know what you think of that idea in the comments. Would something like that work? Will it ruin it? You know, I'd love to know if anyone's done anything like that before to try and save something that they've made too long. I can't hem it shorter because I'll lose the feature on the hemline, so I can't do that. I thought about taking out some fabric under the bust, but then that'll be like really noticeable, so I haven't done that. So my thoughts are maybe adding some elastic along the side seam or some ruching along the side seam, some ties or something. So let me know if you have any thoughts on how I might fix this one. The neckline on this first one is the low scoop neckline, Actually, both of them are the low scoop neckline, but the one on this top turned out a little bit strange, and I'm not really sure why. It's probably my fault. It doesn't really sit flush against my body, so I'm not 100% sure about that either. This fabric is a loop back cotton French terry that I got on the clearance table at Spotlight many years ago. I'm going to say between 3 and 5 years ago. I've had it in my stash looking for the perfect thing to make for a long time, so I was quite disappointed when a few things went wrong with this one, which is why I'm trying to work out a way to fix it. When comparing the construction techniques of the two patterns, I preferred the construction of the Made for Mermaids one. The way they had you attach that triangular piece to the front bodice was much more intuitive and clearer. You're told to finish all of the seams at the right points, so you don't have to go back and try and finish a seam when it's already all sewn together and therefore made really difficult. So that was also a bonus for this pattern. After I'd made both jumpers or sweaters, I decided that I preferred the Made for Mermaid pattern, but I didn't like the length, so I took out some of the length that I'd added in. I took out about 4 inches, so I was left with having added 2 inches to the length. I made the size yellow again because I was happy with the fit of the other one. Apologies if the camera angle has changed. I didn't realize that my camera was slipping. I've just fixed it, so hopefully it stays where it's supposed to stay. So I made the size yellow again because I was happy with the fit, and I took out some of the length that I had added so that there was only a 2-inch height adjustment on this next version. This is it. I actually made it in a fabric that I consider a precious fabric, so I will be entering this one into the Precious Fabric Challenge if you haven't heard of that. This fabric was bought for me at my request at Joann's in Seattle when my husband was there for a work trip a couple of years ago. I can't get any more because it's Joann's and Joann's is closed, but also he went especially to the Joann's store to get it for me, so I'm very grateful. I absolutely love that one. I will be getting a lot of wear out of it. If I was going to make any changes to this one, the only change I would make is how the bottom band is constructed. In this pattern, you're asked to attach the bands to the front bodice piece and then put it aside, attach the bottom band to the triangular piece and then join those two together, which is fine. And then you're asked to add the band to the back. And the only problem with doing it that way is when you're wearing it, I don't know if you can see, so I'll bring this up closer. The seam that you have overlocked there occasionally pokes out, so I don't really like how that part of it is finished. On the Pembley pullover, when you're asked to attach the band to the main bodice, before you attach those two pieces together, you're asked to join it to the band for the back part of the bodice, and so therefore when you finish it, that band has been folded over and the inside seam has been hidden inside the band. So if I was to make the Made for Mermaids jumper again, I would like to work out a way that I could hide that seam so that it's a neater finish. But ultimately, I think this was a great result. After finishing all of those jumpers, I actually decided that I wanted to make another Dilbert. This is my eldest son's Dilbert. He was made about 14 and a half years ago. So that is Dilbert, the first one. This is who we named Dino. He was made from the same Dilbert sewing pattern and he was made about 12 years ago for my second son. And earlier this year, I gained a new nephew and I'll be seeing him in a few weeks for the first time since he was a little baby. And so I decided that I would make him a Dilbert of his very own. So I'll hold this closer so you can have a proper look. It's night and day, the quality of the sewing on this one. He's got real doll eyes on there rather than the felt eyes that I made for the other two dinosaurs. His spikes are 10 billion times better than the spikes over the years that I've had to patch up. I don't know if you can see that there. On both of these older dinosaurs, I've had to stitch up spikes so that they didn't come apart anymore. So I obviously clipped too close to the stitching line on those ones, but the spikes on this Dilbert I think are much better. I've also done some applique on his body instead of just having some spots, and I've used pictures and I've sewn around those. I've also made sure that each of his spikes has like a picture in it, so I fussy cut those so that he has some really interesting spikes with pictures in them. So I think I did a really good job with this Dilbert, and I'm super happy with him. My boys have decided that his name is Dax, so they can't all have the same name. So this is Dax. We have Dilbert, the original. We have Dino, the original brother. And now we have Dax. So all the boys have one of their own. So Dilbert was the other thing I decided to remake for So Phoenix September. I found the So Phoenix September challenge really fun. I hope you've been watching all the other vloggers and their So Phoenix videos on the vlog tour. I know I have, and I've been enjoying them all. But that's all I wanted to tell you about today. I hope you enjoyed seeing my finished makes for So Phoenix and the fabric that I used to make something up for the Precious Fabric Challenge. But that's it from me. I hope you have a creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! From the arm side. So I graded from the arm side to out at the hips to the